Yo.
You are now listening to the smoking section.
Oh yeah.
Where you'll find hot topics.
And fire conversations.
Keep it locked.
You hear me?
Yo, what is up, everybody? So, it's your boy Corpse coming at you live and direct from the smoking section, right? I just did my Spotify Wrapped, fam. I did my Spotify Wrapped, and I want to say thank you to everybody, all the new followers, all the people, who tune in, and, there was some analytics that I was looking at that really shocked me. I wouldn't believe that I would be, okay, so let's take this one, right? So it said that the country that enjoyed the podcast most was in Brazil. And I would have never have thought. Like, you fuckers are really far away. Like, you guys are really far away, dude. So to think that, like, y'all tune in and listen, man, like, that's fucking super rad, right? Like, that's super rad to me. Like, it makes me appreciate the little things, you know what I'm saying? Like, I get so frustrated sometimes because, I don't see the results that I'm looking for, or blah, 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 and it just gives me a second to think, like, slow down. Like, somebody in this world is listening to you, like, they are paying attention to what you have to say. And so on that note, I want to say thank you. Yeah, but that also leads me into this podcast, and I just want to say, like, everybody out there, right, as we're beginning to move through this pandemic and kind of starting to see, like, the light of day, like, I just want to speak out to some people, man. And I know times are tough, and everybody's going through their own things, right? And money's tight now, right? Like, a lot of stimulus money and unemployment money is kind of like starting to dry up a little bit, so people don't have that cushion that they once did, right? Or have that confidence financially to continue to chase the dreams that they were chasing. And I want to take a second to say, like, dude, continue to chase those dreams, continue to put yourself out there, continue to put your art or your mind, whatever you're using as your vessel to carry your dream into, like, the next world. Like, I hope that you guys keep it up, man. Like, seriously, it's been hard, like, for me, right? Like, it's hard thinking that I record this podcast, I do my clothing brand, I work a 9-to-5, I'm a dad. Like, I have a lot of stuff that I do and that I take care of, like, I dance, I still dance, and I'm not even as active as I used to be. But Lord behold, like, every day I think about dancing. I get enjoyment out of watching dance clips, I get enjoyment out of continuing to push my brand forward. So as we become more entrenched in the day-to-day life, right? As things open up and as people are now required to go back to work, that extra financial cushion starts to dry a little bit. I think instead of giving up, right, it's the time to double down, right? Figure out better ways. Investigate, right? Think of things to do to cut down costs. Look at ways to increase profits, right? Especially if you're a small business. That's something that you have to do consistently, right? Like, or I don't want to say a small business, but you're a startup business, right? If you are somebody who's well off after starting your passion project during the pandemic and your business is now flourishing, like, continue to do it, right? Why go back to the workforce, right? Like, if you're paying your bills and you're getting everything done on time, I don't see any need or any reason, honestly, to change that up at all. So take the time and take due diligence, right? To say, how do I continue this thing? Like, if it makes you happy, right? Like, now this is the punchline, right? As the world was burning, as the world caught fire during George Floyd, as the world shut down because of COVID, as the world was topsy-turvy, right, during all of these things globally, right, and even in America, right, here in the USA, where, and we had a riot on our Capitol building. So as wild as life can get, as crazy as it can be, we chose during this time of chaos to find our most inner self and bring it into fruition. Like, fuck, man, I got goosebumps thinking of that. Like, you have to see it this way, right? To understand the gravity of the decision that you made. While the world burned, while everybody was at each other's throats, mask, no mask, vaccine, no vaccine, lab, this, president, Epstein, all the shit, while the world has burned, you chose to shine your own light out into the world, and you need to be applauded for it, and you need, not want, not you should want, but you should need that in your life. We all need that in our lives. This thing that brings us to our human connection, right, with the rest of the world. The one that brings us closer to God, right? I did this. I continue to do this with little to nothing. I record this podcast off my phone. I should have named this podcast the Phone Cast, but I think the smoking section will work. But you gotta take the time, and you gotta put in the effort to evaluate what you're doing, right? And look at yourself hard, right? If you started a little passion project and you're really not liking it, it's kind of like, this is not what I thought it would be. That's fine, right? I'm not saying to kick a dead horse, right? But if you know in your bones that this is what you want, if you know in your bones that if you just keep squeezing on it, the juice will come, I encourage you to do so. I do. I really do. Even if you have to pick up a little small part-timer, right, to fund this business that you have, I encourage you to do so. None of us are above working, you know what I mean? Like, none of us are so glitz and glammy. I mean, even the billionaires and trillionaires, are scheming all day. They're thinking of new ideas. They're continuing to be innovative with what they have, in a thought as far as like resources. Their resources, like how could they continue to be more fruitful with these things? And I want you guys to, like I want to too. And so me saying it to you is also me saying it to myself, right? So a couple things that I would say for you to do to help you with this, right? If you just need that spark of motivation, right? One thing I would suggest is just do your affirmations, get up every day and say, this is what I want, right? And continue to say that every time, and that's just one, right? But there's more. But that's just one little thing that you can do to stay motivated and to keep yourself in the game, Trust me, I've been running Corpse Collection for we're on our 4th year now, right? And I'm on my 2nd year now with this podcast. And to think if I would have given up, to think that if I would have given up on these dreams, then there wouldn't be people in Japan wearing my clothes, right? And to think if I would have given up on this dream, people in Brazil would have never heard me, right? And I'm assuming that they've enjoyed my show, right? These people, and these people in this area, you know what I'm saying? And if I've impacted them in a good way, right? If I've either motivated or inspired them or helped them or made them think, right? Or maybe my words were just kind to what they may have been feeling that day, right? Or at that moment. If I would have cut myself off, I would have not have only been doing a disservice to myself, but I would have been doing a disservice to them, right? And I can only ask, I can only say, don't do that disservice to yourself, and don't do that disservice to somebody like me. I want to see your artwork. I want to see your creations. I want to see your dreams come to life. But it only happens if you stick with it. You got to keep going, right? Against all odds, right? I think, and I pray, and I hope, right, that as we move forward coming out of all of this, coming out of the chaos, right? Instead of saying, new world order, right? But we have a new world of expression, right? All of you know I love that, right? Corpse literally stands for KORPSX, is creativity offers our people self-expression. And I believe that that is what gives us, that separating edge of every other human, or not every other human, but every other species, right? Is that the human has the ability of self-expression, that we have the ability to think, right? Excuse me. We have the ability to think and create and innovate and push forward, right? Oh my God, I'm choking on my own spit. But so without your self-expression in the world, you don't allow all of us to move forward in a better way, in a proper way, in a just way, in a loving way, right? Whatever it is that you find yourself in, running a business is hard. It's not a 9 to 5, right? Sometimes it's a 6 to 6. Sometimes it's a 6 to midnight. Sometimes you have to pull double shifts. Sometimes you're only in there for 30 minutes. Some days you can't even clock in, right? Because you're at a standstill. And that's okay, right? Do you believe that empires were started without hiccups, without obstacles, without things that they had to overcome and or manage? That is, I think of the Roman Empire and all the different changes that they went through during their reign, and with that, you gotta think to yourself, why would I believe to be so different, right? You're trying to build this business, or you're trying to build this, quote unquote empire. Well, look towards empires. Look towards empires. If you want to know how to build an empire, look towards them. You want to build a successful business? Look at successful businesses. Look at the things they went through, the challenges they faced, right? The trials, tribulations, the ups and the downs and sideways. Look at all of that, and you'll understand, this shit is no joke, right? So be easy on yourself, right? But hard on the game. Be easy, be light on your own feelings and your own self-judgment. But this game, hit that shit hard. Hit it with all your might. Give everything you got to it. Surrender into it. Please, I'm asking you. I want to see your guys' work, right? If you have any work, if you have anything that you would like me to promote, put out there for you, share, repost, like, subscribe, follow, whatever, hit me on Instagram, at Corpse, KORPSX, and I'll hit you with a follow, man. Just say, hey, I'm from the podcast. Let me, and we'll talk. I'll chop it up with you. And I get people chiming in on there from time to time, and it makes me happy because I get to communicate with y'all and show y'all a realer, I won't say a realer, but a little deeper insight to who I am as a person, off mic, right? I voice my opinions here all the time, or my views or whatever, philosophies. But if you want to know me, as a person to person level, right? In all of that, just hit me on the DMs. Just hit me on the DMs, and I'll pull through and we'll chat. I love it. I love it whenever somebody hits me up. So again, Instagram handle is Corpse, KORPSX. Hit me on there with any of y'all's artwork or NFTs, whatever project you got going, anything that you got going, hit me with it on there. I'll share it, subscribe, whatever it is, whatever y'all need from me, I'll make sure to execute. Other than that, this is the smoking section. Thank you all for all of your support. It means the world to me. I'm going to continue to put these episodes out, coming out every Friday, 3:33 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So East Coast, that's 6:33. Y'all let me know what y'all want me to say or talk about, or vibe with, or people you may want to have on the show, let me know. Yeah, until then, I hope you guys have an amazing day. I hope you have a great week, month, year, and life. Yeah. Until next time, stay motivated out there. I'll see you on the flip side, all right? Bang, ba-bang, bang, bang.